Isn't Halloween the best? Tricking, treating, pranking, knocking on doors, getting candy, and of course, wearing an awesome costume. Well, in Pathfinder 1E, every day is Halloween if you're a vigilante. You'll be tricking, then beating your enemies to a pulp, pranking everyone with your secret identities, knocking down doors, getting justice or revenge, and of course, wearing an awesome costume. In this analysis of the Vigilante class, I'll be explaining the features and options that go into this flexible pulp adventure-inspired class that will let you play your costumed avenger almost any way you like. A grizzled two-fisted fighter, a suave debonair man of mystery, or a dark shadow who knows what evils lurk in the hearts of man. You can bring it all to your next Pathfinder 1E adventure. But before we get into the Vigilante, if you'd like to take your game further, consider joining the D6 Damage Discord. We have great discussions about all aspects of the game, character builds, strategy guides, and much, much more. You'll find a link to our Discord in the description of this video. Now then, the Vigilante. You have a D8 hit die, and the 3-force base attack bonus, so that's like a rogue or a cleric. You are proficient with all simple and martial weapons, light armor, medium armor, and shields except tower shields. Now let's talk about your ability scores. It can be difficult knowing what to prioritize in terms of your ability scores as a vigilante. The class gives you so much flexibility, you can build it many different ways. However, your charisma is going to be important to you. This is fundamentally a social class, best used in campaigns with a strong social element. Next, consider strength or dexterity. You are going to be fighting with weapons or your fists, so you need to consider where your damage is going to come from. Next, constitution. Extra HP is important for pretty much everybody. Your intelligence score will benefit you in terms of some of your skills, but you have many options for modifying and improving skill rolls, so it's not a huge priority. The case is similar for wisdom. Will saves certainly are nice, but it's not a huge priority for the Vigilante class. Your options are also very open when it comes to races. Although I do have to spotlight the Halfling. A Halfling Vigilante gets plus 1/6 of a new social talent. That means that for every 6 levels, you'll get an additional social talent. And the social talents have a lot of cool options. But before I break those down, let's look at the defining class feature of the Vigilante, your dual identity. You have 2 identities and 2 names. A social identity and a vigilante identity. You can start the day as either of your identities. Changing your identity takes 1 minute, and it must be done out of sight. A hat of disguise or similar spell or effect that changes your appearance doesn't reduce the time required to change identities. Also remember, most of your social talents require you to be in your social identity. You have 2 alignments. 1 for each of your identities. This applies to spells, magic items, and abilities that rely on your alignment. However, for the purpose of meeting qualifications on feats, class features, or abilities, you have to be eligible for that with both of your alignments. Now, your 2 alignments have to be within 1 step of each other on the alignment axis. You can't have a lawful good social identity and a chaotic evil vigilante identity. You could have a lawful neutral social identity and a neutral evil vigilante identity, because those are only 1 step apart. The next class feature to be aware of is seamless guise. When in either your social or vigilante identity, you can attempt a disguise check with a plus 20 circumstantial bonus to appear as that current identity and not your other identity. And that is why Lois Lane never figures out that Clark Kent is Superman. A plus 20 circumstantial bonus from glasses. Now, let's get into the incredible number of options that you have as a vigilante. These come in 2 categories. vigilante talents, and social talents. Starting at first level and every 2 levels thereafter, you gain a social talent. Here are some good options in my opinion. Ancestral Enlightenment. You can attempt any knowledge check untrained. If you have ranks in a particular knowledge skill, you get a +4 bonus on checks with that skill. You must be at least 5th level to select this talent. Next, Case the Joint. You can use your social identity to learn important facts about a location before returning as your vigilante self. When in your social identity, you can attempt a DC 20 knowledge engineering check to gain important information about an area that will grant you the ability to reroll a failed skill check involving the area's layout, such as a stealth check to sneak, a disable device check to deactivate an alarm, or a sleight of hand check to snatch an object from a pedestal. For every 10 by which you exceed the DC 20, you get an additional reroll. Next, Quick Change. Instead of spending 1 minute to change your identity, you can now do so as a full round action. You must be at least 7th level to select this talent. Next, Skill Familiarity. Choose 4 skills. You can take a 10 on checks involving these skills even when distracted or threatened. When you are not distracted or threatened, you get a bonus equal to 1/4 your vigilante level, minimum 2, on these checks. You must be 9th level to select this talent. The final standalone talent I want to look at is Social Grace. Pick 1 intelligence, wisdom, or charisma-based skill, other than perception or use magic device. When in your social identity, you get a +4 circumstantial bonus on this check. At 5th level and every 4 levels thereafter, select another skill to get this bonus. Now, let's look at some social talent trees. These are abilities that you're buying into to get progressively better abilities to spend your many social talents on. First up, the Songbird tree, starting with Songbird. You can cast Animal Messenger once per day as a spell-like ability. You also get Handle Animal as a class skill. Once you have this talent, you could get Beast Speech. You can speak with animals once per day as a spell-like ability. Or Beast Friend. You can cast Charm Animal 1 time per day as a spell-like ability. Next up, the Many Guises skill tree. This starts with the Many Guises skill. Whenever you change your identity, you have a third option. You can become mundane. When in a mundane identity, you appear as a member of your race, usually a common laborer, farmer, or peasant. Your alignment is treated as neutral when in your mundane identity. You receive a +20 circumstantial bonus on disguise checks to appear like an ordinary member of your race. Spells and abilities that are looking for either of your other identities fail. You must be 5th level to select this talent. Once you have it, you could take Everyman. You take on the appearance of a specific individual. The individual must be a farmer, laborer, peasant, or something like that. When disguised, you receive a +20 circumstantial bonus to appear as that individual. You also get a +10 circumstantial bonus on bluff checks to pretend to be that individual. You must be at least 11th level before taking this talent. The capstone talent is Any Guise. You can disguise yourself as a specific person, a very important person even, like a king or high priest. Furthermore, if the actual individual would not normally be located via magic, such as if they're dead or protected from divination, such spells and abilities will find you instead. You must be 17th level before you can take this ability. Finally, let's talk about Renown. When in your social identity, you can spend 1 week gaining renown among a local community of no more than 200 individuals. This would be like a farm town, a hamlet, or it could even be a subset of a larger community, like a single neighborhood in a big city. After 1 week, when in your social identities, all NPCs in that community will have a starting attitude 1 category better. Also, you get a +4 circumstantial bonus on intimidate checks when in your Vigilante identity. You can hold renown in only one community at a time. If you gain renown in a new community, you lose it in the previous community. Some of the talents that go off of this are Great Renown. You gain renown in a single community of up to 5,000 individuals. This would be like a large town, or 2 communities of no more than 2,000 individuals each. These would be like 2 small towns. Also, the circumstantial bonus on your Intimidate checks increases to +6. You must be at least 7th level before taking this ability. You could also get Celebrity Discount. Your social identity is so popular that you receive discounts in your area of renown. Items that cost 500 gold pieces or less are 90% of their market price. And if you have the Great Renown social talent, the GP limit increases to 2,000 gold pieces. You have to be at least 3rd level to get a celebrity discount. Finally, there's Safe House. You can establish a safe house in your area of renown. You can change this safe house if you have a new area of renown. The safe house has to be an area in volume, no larger than a number of feet, equal to 10 per vigilante level. Objects within your safe house can't be located by any effect less powerful than the Discern Location spell. At 7th level, this protection from being located also applies to creatures within the safe house. And at 13th level, the entire area becomes protected from scrying effects. This effect is similar to Mage's Private Sanctum. Now then, let's move on to a very important choice you're going to need to make at 1st level, your Vigilante specialization. You can choose to be either an Avenger or a Stalker. As an Avenger, you're a rough and tumble battle-ready hero who focuses on combat rather than the sneaky stuff. Your base attack bonus is equal to your Vigilante level instead of what's listed on the Vigilante table. Alternatively, if you choose to be a Stalker, you get an ability called Hidden Strike, which deals an extra 1d8 points of precision damage on melee attacks or ranged attacks within 30 feet, against foes who are unaware of your presence, or who consider you an ally, or who have been made flat-footed by your startling appearance ability. More on that in a bit. This extra damage increases by 1d8 at 3rd level, and every 2 Vigilante levels thereafter. Also, a Stalker Vigilante can deal Hidden Strike damage to a target that you're flanking or is denied their Dexterity bonus to AC, but in these cases, the damage dice are reduced to D4s instead of D8s. Once you've chosen to be either an Avenger or a Stalker, the choice cannot be changed. Now then, let's get into the exciting options that you have for Vigilante talents. At 2nd level and every 2 levels thereafter, you gain a Vigilante talent. Here are some of my thoughts on great Vigilante talents. First up, Armor Skin. You don't apply the armor check penalty for light or medium armor on acrobatics, escape artist, or stealth checks. And at 8th level, you can move at full speed in medium armor. Next, Combat Skill. You gain any 1 combat feat as a bonus feat. Only Avenger Vigilantes can select this talent. Next, Cunning Feint. You can feint as a move action, or in place of your first attack during a full attack action. At 8th level, on a successful feint, your opponent is denied its dexterity bonus to AC against all attacks until the beginning of your next turn. Another great option is Evasive. You gain the Evasion ability, and at 12th level, this improves to Improved Evasion. Only a Stalker Vigilante can select this talent. Next, Expose Weakness. You add the ability to reduce a creature's damage reduction or hardness by 10 to the list of options when attempting a dirty trick combat maneuver. This ability doesn't stack with itself, and it doesn't work against creatures with DR bypassable only by effects that bypass all DR. Another great Vigilante talent is Fist of the Avenger. You get Improved Unarmed Strike as a bonus feat. In addition, whenever you successfully attack with a fist or gauntlet, you gain a bonus on damage rolls equal to half your vigilante level. Minimum +1, maximum +5. Only an Avenger Vigilante can select this talent. Next, Heavy Training. You gain heavy armor proficiency as a bonus feat. The Armor Skin Vigilante talent also applies to heavy armor. At 16th level, Armor Skin lets you move at your full speed in heavy armor. Only an Avenger Vigilante can select this talent. Next, Hide in Plain Sight. As long as you're within 10 feet of dim light, you can hide without actually having anything to hide behind. Only a Stalker Vigilante of at least 8th level can select this talent. Next, Inspired Vigilante. This ability functions similarly to the Investigator's Inspiration ability, but your inspiration pool is equal to your class level, without any bonus from your intelligence modifier. And you can never use this ability without expending uses of inspiration. And it does not count as inspiration for effects that interact with the inspiration class feature. Next, Lethal Grace. You gain Weapon Finesse as a bonus feat. When using Weapon Finesse to make a melee attack using your Dexterity bonus to attack and your Strength bonus for damage rolls, you add half your Vigilante level to the damage rolled. Next, Mighty Ambush. Once per round, when you succeed at a hidden strike, you can instantly drop a damaged enemy unconscious for 1d4 rounds. A successful Fortitude save, DC 10, plus half your Vigilante level, plus the higher of either your Strength or Dexterity modifiers, negates this effect. Only a Stalker Vigilante of at least 10th level can select this talent. Next, Perfect Vulnerability. As a standard action, you can strike a foe's weak spot. This attack targets an enemy's touch AC, and the enemy is denied its Dexterity bonus to the attack, so it's very, very easy to hit. However, you can't target the same enemy with this ability for 24 hours. You must be at least 8th level to select this talent. Next, Shadow's Speed. Your base speed increases by 10 feet. And at 10th level, it increases by an additional 10 feet. Next, Shield of Blades. You gain Power Attack as a bonus feat. When you take an attack or full attack action using Power Attack to make your melee attack, you get a shield bonus to your AC equal to the Power Attack penalty until the start of your next turn. Next up, Shield of Fury. You gain Improved Shield Bash as a bonus feat. Also, at 6th level, you are treated as having the 2-weapon fighting feat as long as one of the weapons you're using is a shield. This lets you take feats that require 2-weapon fighting as a prerequisite, without meeting the 2-weapon fighting or dexterity prereqs. However, this feat only applies when you're wielding a shield as one of your weapons. The final Vigilante talent I'm going to talk about is Signature Weapon. Select one type of weapon. You gain Weapon Focus as a bonus feat for that selected weapon. Then at 8th level, you gain Weapon Specialization as a bonus feat for the selected weapon. This is one of the best fighter-exclusive feats. Only an Avenger Vigilante can select this talent. Now, as you level as a Vigilante, you will get some additional abilities, like Unshakable. Starting at 3rd level, you add your class level to the DC of any attempt to intimidate you. Now, at 5th level, you get Startling Appearance. Whenever you attempt an attack against a foe that is completely unaware of your presence, the foe is treated as flat-footed for the rest of your turn. Also, that foe takes a -4 penalty on attacks made against you until the start of your next turn. Thank you very much for watching this D6 damage analysis of the Vigilante class. Now, if you're interested in gaming paraphernalia like dice, rulebooks, miniatures, and much, much more, check out Noble Knight Games. You'll find an affiliate link in the description of this video. And if you're interested in a good old-fashioned haunted house adventure, check out Sorceress, the Dietrich House, available right now on DriveThruRPG.